Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegades Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
I now I'm self-conscious about it because others do it so well.
And you'll have to part out.
Oh, it's Friday. Happy Friday.
Thank you.
I was distracted because I was thinking back to I spoke with John Hansen yesterday. I know it's a surprise. And he thought that there would be a winner of that contest, and that winner would be the person who gets to come on and talk about themselves for like 30 seconds. I vaguely remember that.
We did talk about promoting their business. There was no doubt. I don't think there was any clarification of exactly what promoting their business was. It might have just been when you mentioned that Gene Born is born to travel, and John is mobile auto service. So
we may have to come back to that. Yeah.
We'll talk further about what that
the people heard it differently.
Of course they did. We all hear what we want to hear, right?
Indeed. Hey, Tom, are you in the mood for a burger today? Like a thick, juicy hamburger on a nice thick roll with some lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, onions.
Everything but the tomatoes. Why?
It is National Burger Day.
National Burger Day?
I know. Who would have thought that National Burger Day would come right around Memorial Day? Is that the most crazy thing in the whole wide world?
Well, is National Hot Dog Day on Memorial Day?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Is that what
look ahead?
Hot dog eating challenge?
No, that's July 4th.
Oh, July 4th.
With Joey Chestnuts or something?
Yes.
Yeah, that's something to see.
So if you were going to go get a hamburger, where's the best burger you've ever had?
There's a place in Berlin, Maryland. I can't remember the name of it. We've been there once, and it had an awesome, awesome burger. Like we've threatened to drive the 2.5, 3 hours. It's right by Ocean City, Maryland, the Eastern Shore.
Yeah.
We've threatened to drive all the way down there just for the burger. How about you?
I don't know. I would say this is going to sound ridiculous.
If you say your wife's hamburgers, it's going to be such a suck up, but it is a holiday weekend, so I will allow it.
She does a very good job with burgers, and I might have to say Five Guys. As much as that pains me to say that,
but they might sponsor us, so that's good. I like that idea.
I like the fact that I can walk in there and tell them exactly what I want on it, and they have all sorts of options. And
you can't do that with Liz.
You know what's funny? It never tastes the same. There's something about like if go out and get a burger and put like pickles on it, for example.
Yeah.
It never tastes the same as it does in a restaurant. I'm not quite sure why.
I would agree with you. That's true. So Tom, the other day it's National Road Trip Day. So if you think about it, you could be on a road trip and stop and have a burger.
Makes sense, I guess.
There you have it. So why don't we get on to bringing joy? We've been talking all week about joy, what it is.
Burgers bring you joy?
They do, yeah. Although I'm trying to cut down on them. There was a period in my life where burgers were a very predominant food group to me.
Got it. Fair enough.
And apparently burgers don't go well unless they're fries.
Yeah, and
I wish I could line up how many French fries I've eaten in my life, because I'm fairly certain I could get to California and back on the path of French fries that I have eaten.
Okay, that's a lot.
So no doubt. So anyway, we're talking about joy, and you may say, "Hey, what's going on here? Why are these guys here at 7 a.m., not 8 a.m.?" Well, we were having so much fun yesterday with our program. We wanted to start an hour early. No, actually, once a month, Tom and I have a conflict with another group, and we haven't asked that group to change their meeting time. So we're kind enough to move our time.
Aren't you the president of that group?
Yeah.
Couldn't you do that?
I guess my executive fiat. But
Yes.
I don't even. Maybe could you bring that up at the next board meeting, Tom?
Sure. Why not? Make a special exemption last Friday. We have something else we have to do.
I'm not sure whose comment this is, but I'm about to make my annual Memorial Day burgers. Ground venison, 3 pounds to 1 pound of sausage. Let me double check, but I have a hunch that might be John Hanson because I know he's he'll eat venison, which is more than I can say. But it's not. Keep going while I do my digging.
Okay. All right. I guess I'm going to move off burgers. Although that burger sounds good.
I'm sorry, that was Edward Tinnis Jr.
Ah, yes. I like that burger. Sounds good. I like the idea of mixing it a little bit.
And Tim replied, "Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing." So we've got the taste buds working this morning. Maybe this is one of those days where we just give into the taste buds and just talk food.
Well, the funny thing is, it's interesting that it was food. Because I do find that one of the things that bring people joy is food. I think that there's
most people.
Yeah, I think there's some food that we all are like, either brings back fond memories. It's that thing that like it's a go-to when you're struggling and you're like, or you go back to the place that you love because you love this whatever they're offering. And in some regards, that's kind of like our business. When we love what we're doing.
Not our business, anyone's business, right?
Correct.
Okay, the way you said it, it was like our, you, and me. But it would apply to any
Maybe that's
business.
Uh-oh.
Tom froze.
Blip. Still there, Bob?
I'm here. Can
Bob's
you hear
frozen.
me?
It is definitely.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep going while Tom has his technical difficulties. We've been talking all week about joy. And today is our opportunity to talk about what we've learned this week in our discussion of joy. And I'm just going to jump right into it with what I learned. Sorry, I went ahead without you, Tom.
As you should.
I was just getting ready to tell people what I learned about joy this week that I didn't really expect to learn. And that is that we have to work, I don't want to say aggressively, but consistently to make sure that we make it possible to have joy. That's on us. No one can control my joy. And during our networking event, the Ring Renegades Roundup yesterday afternoon, we were talking about joy. And the question that flummoxed a couple of people was, what do you do to make sure joy remains in your workday? That was a question that not everyone could answer. And one person couldn't answer it. And then she said, I'm going to think about it. It's a really great question. I love that thought. And then she came up with a couple of ideas. But that to me was a real interesting shift for people to think about, hey, what are you doing to keep joy in place? And, yesterday, I think it was you and I talked about, we listened to certain music, or I said that during the networking event that I often will call someone that I know will be uplifting, someone who gets me, and just talk to that person. And I'm lucky enough to have some people, but I was surprised that not everyone knows what they do to retain that joy.
Well, I don't think that has been a part of the work experience for many people. They don't see work as joy or find joy in the work that they do. Maybe in some of the results that they get. But I think the thought of, because think about it, how often, and, have people said, oh, thank God it's Friday, or, oh, it's hump day, all downhill from now, or I can't believe it's Sunday night, I got to go to work on the weekend. So we have built up this thought that work is not a joyful thing, that it's something we have to do in order to, make money so that we can take care of ourselves and anyone else that we take care of. And so I think that it becomes very easy to not have joy around work. We've associated work with a lot of negatives, and maybe rightfully so. And also, I think because we haven't taken the steps to say, where is there joy in the work and celebrate it? I think that's one of the things that I'm so excited about our summer of celebration, is that maybe this will help bring some joy back to people who have lost it in their work. Because if they're constantly thinking every day about what am I celebrating, I think it'll make it easier for them to go back the next day and not only be aware of what might they celebrate that day, they might also be aware of where there are more opportunities for joy within what they are doing. And I don't think joy has to be like this, oh my gosh, we're having so much fun and it's laughter. And I think it's just a state of, and I talked about this earlier, or maybe this was last week. I can't remember. The weeks all roll together, where you just get lost in the moment.
Yes.
And that is, in some point, is something like, okay, I've hit my stride. I'm going to just keep going because this is where I'm at and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So I've blocked everything else out. And I think that that's a place that when we can get to there within our work, I think we can find ways to be more effective. And it's interesting. I think if you go to, people so often think about the results rather than hear the actions that we're taking, and can we find joy in the action that may or may not lead to the result we're expecting.
Tom, let me get some comments in there because they bring me great joy. First off, John Hanson reminding me that old fashions at Barrett's. Yes, that is a personal favorite. Openly admit that. Tim says, hence my celebration of last night. Sushi and sashimi helped me celebrate joy. From John, it doesn't bring me joy when Tom's frozen. I like that.
I agree.
I'd rather find it amusing. Like any animal, this is from Ed, like any animal is trained through a desire to fill their bellies. Humans break bread together. John also said, I don't think many people think about their joy. And I think that's what we found this week, which is why we brought this topic up. And then I didn't get to see yet who this was. I'll have to go see. They don't even think of protecting your joy. For example, people say blood's thicker than water. Instead, that person is toxic, run away. I'm going to guess that's John because I've had discussions like this. And then lastly, as a master upholsterer and universal mechanic, I simply love serving my clients with my artistic work, with my hands and vision, with the mind of an engineer. I'm trying to figure out who said that. That's from Edward again.
I like that.
I like the lens that he gives. Very clear that master upholsterer and universal mechanic, and I love that he's serving them with his artistic works, with his hands and vision, and with the mind of an engineer. I love that he's packaged that into what is uniquely his. Because he could have just said, "Hey, I do upholstery."
Yeah.
I give people what they want, but my sense is he probably discusses it with the person and they come to a consensus like, oh, yes, you're right. That's the perfect pattern for the next 30 years. So that's awesome. Thank you, everyone, for the comments. And one more I'll throw in there. I'm trying to figure out who said it. That would be Troy. Tolly says, John Hanson brings me joy.
There we go.
There we go. So thank you, everyone, for those comments. They do bring Tom and me great joy when we get comments like that. So thank you for getting in the discussion. And Tom, we've got to get this wrapped up. Neat little bow around it. What's your one thing for the week?
I think when I think about joy, I think it's really helpful to identify what it is that brings us joy and really celebrate that. Because again, I think that we spend an awful lot of time identifying the things that don't bring us joy or the things that bring us down. And, it's no wonder that we get frustrated and we're, get upset and we don't like situations that we're in. And we forget that we should have joy in our life and it's there. It just maybe has been covered up. And so taking the steps to identify what are those things that bring joy whether that's in your work or at home, and making sure that if you're not feeling that way, you go to those things and you let them bring the joy back to whatever it is that you're doing.
I like that. I can shorten it to one sentence. We each control our own joy. We have absolute control over it. I did not know that when the week started. And that to me is a great lesson in when I say, oh, I'm not enjoying this. That's on me. That's not on you. That's not on anyone else. If you're not enjoying this, why aren't you?
Right.
And I think what you said earlier in the week about being around results, usually when I get focused on the results, that's when the joy erodes very quickly.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
So this has been a great week. And folks, Tom mentioned it, but let me highlight it. We'll be back live Monday morning, right, Tom? We're going to do that live Monday?
Yes, indeed.
8 a.m. Eastern time. And that will be the kickoff of our summer of celebration. That's right. We're going to ask you, can't demand, but we're going to ask in the most strong terms that we can for you to find something to celebrate each day for the summer. And as someone in the call yesterday, or in the networking event yesterday said, it's so great to be forced to think about joy in your life. And that when you have to do it, Jean's already started a list of things that bring her that she wants to celebrate this summer.
Awesome.
She was afraid. I think she was afraid she wouldn't come up with one for every day, so she started to catalog some, which I think is great. I'm sort of doing the same thing in my mind because I'm afraid I'll hit a day where I can't find it. But it doesn't have to be a big thing, and that was one of the things I explained yesterday. It doesn't have to be like life-changing, and it could just be my oatmeal every morning brings me joy. I mean, I have oatmeal every morning. It does bring me joy. And when blueberries are in season, even more joy. And when peaches are in season, yet more joy. And so that would be something I would celebrate. It doesn't have to be work.
Absolutely.
You can certainly celebrate that you have the means to take your family on a vacation, that you can take off Friday and enjoy it, that we have veterans who have provided us the opportunity, that we have to enjoy Burger Day and Road Trip Day without fear of some sort of insurrection or some sort of military thing. Wow, that got heavy.
What happened there?
Yeah, couldn't find a word. I don't know where insurrection came from.
I know.
That's what lost me.
Yeah, I hope that you have
keep rolling.
I hope that you have a great weekend. Enjoy the holiday weekend. As Bob said, we'll be back here Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time, and we'll launch our summer of celebration. And if you are not yet a member of our Ring of Renegades Facebook group, where you will be able to share those celebrations, please feel free to join us. Just go to Facebook, search for Ring of Renegades, and ask to join. All you have to do is tell us why you're a renegade. And you can then become a part of our group that is growing and trying to help one another follow their own unique pathway to success. So we hope that we will see you.
Hey, Tom, I'm going to stop you. I just checked something I forgot to check. Do you know what?
Do we hit
1,000 members?
Woohoo! Wow.
I'll have to figure out who the person is, but we owe someone and the person who invited them each a copy of The Renegade Way, that marvelous book by a great author I know named Bob Graham. Awesome book. We will get your address. We will mail it to each of the people, the person who invited the person, and that person who was our 1,000th person. So we hit our goal. I'm celebrating the fact that we got to 1,000 before Memorial Day.
That was a goal. What are you going to do to celebrate?
Don't know. Didn't get that far.
Okay. Well,
I am going out to play golf today.
Nice.
So I might enjoy a beverage.
Huh. Okay. Probably was a beverage that was mentioned on this show earlier, I would imagine.
Could have been.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us and for helping grow our group to 1,000 people. Now we'll set our next target and work to try to get there, again, by helping others find their own unique way to success. So thanks so much for being a part of it. Have a great weekend. We will see you inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, or we'll see you Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time, for our next edition of today's Antidote. And here is some further information about the Ring of Renegades. Take care, everyone.
Carving your own path is tough. You want and need a community to offer you insights and advice, share inspiration, provide support, and save you time and money. But where do you find all that? Here's the easy answer: the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, where leaders, entrepreneurs, and business owners identify their next steps. Here's some of what you will find at the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. Just go to ringofrenegades.com and join today. Find and accomplish those next